So we have completed the test case 9, that is working with multiple ACS addresses. Now let's jump to test case 10 where it's talking about the configuring SLO, that is single logout. So let's quickly go to first Salesforce and just export the metadata from the Salesforce. I'll tell you what is why it is required. Let's first download it. Let me click here. Okay, download the metadata. I think I already downloaded also, but yeah, let me download again. 1.xml came. Let's open this. Go to downloads. Metadata one. I think this is the one, right? 20 seconds. No, not this is not the one. I think yeah, this is the one. Sorry. Okay, let's open this with Notepad. Okay, so this is our metadata. So you can see here, like in the metadata, you can see the entity ID of the Salesforce application protocol, and then you can see this is the signing certificate through which Salesforce signed the request. If you remember, we talked about the signing the request when the application initiate and send it to PingFederate. In that case, yeah, they can just sign and just send it to using HTTP redirect binding. So that's the signing certificate, and you can we can use this certificate for encrypting the SAML response also. We can check that in the coming test. For now, you have this certificate, that's fine, and yeah, these all values. So we require this certificate. I'll tell you when. For now, what we can do, let's go back here. I just want to create a certificate in a proper format. So what we can do, let's open any CRT file. Okay, this one maybe for an example, open with like Notepad. Yeah. Okay, now you can see the certificate format will start with the begin certificate, end certificate, and in the middle of the begin and end, you have the content. Okay, so now what we can do, we can create our certificate, not our certificate, basically the Salesforce certificate only. So in the Salesforce, you can see you have the value here, like from M2. So whatever it's coming in the X509 in that bracket, those all values, just copy this. Just copy it, and you can just put it in our certificate where we opened this. Yeah, in the middle of this. So this certificate will be in a proper format now. And this is basically a Salesforce signing certificate through which Salesforce can sign the request. And we require this certificate in our SLO purpose also. I'll show you where it required. So let me save this file. Now while saving this file, you have the options of extensions. So first you can just remove this test document to all files, and then you can just rename whatever you want to, like Salesforce. I'll put Salesforce signing certificate. Now here you can just give some extension like .cer, you can give .crt, you can give .pem. Yeah, all of these extensions will be possible. You can give any one of them, and then you can able to use this and import somewhere in the PingFederate configurations. So I'll put something here like .cer. Okay, and you can save this. Is it saved right? Let me check this. Yeah, I think this is it. This is the one, right? Now if you can just open this, you can able to see the, yeah. So it's a self-signed certificate from the Salesforce itself. It is also not a root certificate, and it's validity till 22nd of July 2025, and you can see the details here like serial number, signature algorithm, and hash algorithm, issuer, valid from, valid to, all those things, subject value, like that. Yeah, subject key identifier, thumbprint, and all those things. Okay, public key. So you have all these values, and then you have the certification path. This is not a CA certificate, that's why it's complaining that this CA root certificate is not trusted, because it is not in the trusted root certification authority store. Okay, that we have understood in our certificate section. So now we have the self-signing certificate, or you can say Salesforce signing certificate. Now let's configure the SLO. To configure the SLO, first we can just need something from the Salesforce. One thing that I just copied right now, the signing certificate from the Salesforce metadata file. Another thing what I need, I just need the endpoints of the SLO of the Salesforce. So as you can see in my screen, in the logout URL, you can see there is an endpoint address. So just copy this address and keep it handy with you. You can just put somewhere like, yeah, let's put it here itself. This is a SLO address that we, or endpoint from Salesforce, okay, and put Salesforce. So we copied this. Now we have the certificate, we have this value. Now we are not supposed to, there is nothing pending from from Salesforce. We have copied both the things, like two things required, certificate and this value. Now at the Salesforce also, we just need to update, we just need to enable the SLO, and we need to give our SLO address, like PingFederate logout endpoint, you can say, so that there will be a logout request can be sent from Salesforce to the PingFederate endpoint, SLO endpoint, and then PingFederate just respond to that, like with the logout response. So how you can see the request response happening in the case of authentication, same thing will happen in the case of logout also. That Salesforce will send a logout request to PingFederate, PingFed will send a logout response. So that we can see here now. So what we can do, so you know what is the endpoint SLO for the PingFederate. So for that, what we need to do, like, so you can see we have the base URL here. Like if I can go here, server. So first you need to just get your base URL. So this is a base URL of your PingFederate. Just copy it. Let's put it in the same place. Now this is SLO from PingFederate. PFLC. So this is our base URL. Now you need to define the endpoint here. So to get the endpoint, just click here, and then you have the IDP endpoints. Click there. And these all endpoints are very important. You need to know, it will these questions asked in the exams, in the interview, like that, certification exams and all. So what you can do now, so SLO service you can see. So you can just choose this is whether redirect, post, artifact. So for all the endpoints are common. It's just the same. So you can copy idp/slo.saml2, copy it, close this, and put it in the just attach it with the a SLO PF address, base URL you can say. So we have the base URL https 10.128.049031 put, and then idp slo.saml2, it's our endpoint of SLO. So this endpoint we need to define where? At the Salesforce. So let's jump to Salesforce, then quickly we can do at PingFederate, then we can test quickly. So let's go to Salesforce. Now we need to click on edit here. So just edit it. Now you can see you have the option of single logout enabled. You can see. So just click on here, put enable it, and then it will ask the identity provider SLO URL. Right? That's the endpoint where basically they can send the request and all. And here you can see use selected request signature method for single logout. So we have selected this. That means the Salesforce certificate we need to import at our side also, at PingFed side also. Otherwise it will just going to give you the error message. That we can just discuss in the later section, but for now just understand we just enabled the SLO, also we enabled the selected request signature method for single logout. Okay, that means it will just sign with the same certificate that we copied in this section, right? This is the one. Using this it will basically sign, and then I think we understand the concept of digital signature, right? The same thing it will happen. Now we just need to define the IDP provider URL here. So just go in the notepad and just copy this, bring it here, and just save it. Okay, idp slo.saml2. Okay, nothing else. Just click on save now. So it looks good now. Okay, so we have the single logout enabled, and we have enabled the selected request signature method also, and the IDP SLO URL. Okay, this looks good. Now we are good from the Salesforce. Now let's jump to PingFederate. Now in the PingFederate, what we need to do, let's quickly jump to the Salesforce. And first thing you need to do, you just need to go to the SAML profile and just enable the SLO option. So we have disabled for now. So just enable the IDP also and the SP also. Okay, and then go to next, or maybe you can click on save directly so that it can jump to the address bar. Address bar will come like once we enable this in the profile section. We need to update in the protocol endpoints. So in the protocol setting, you need to define the logout address of Salesforce, logout endpoint address of Salesforce in this case. So let me click on save so that we can directly jump to the protocol setting, because without that it will not allow you to save the connection. Okay. So now click on configure protocol setting. Now you can see you have the assertion consumer service URL already you defined. Now you're trying to define the SLO service URL. So you can just select the binding as something post. Endpoint URL, as I told you, you have copied, right? Like from Salesforce. So just copy this endpoint address and define in the PingFederate side. Like in the endpoint URL, just give this address, paste this address, and in the response URL also paste this address only. And click on add. So now you just did two things in PingFederate. One, enabling the SAML profile and adding the endpoint URL for the logout of Salesforce. Basically you are just defining the logout endpoint of Salesforce here. Now click on next. It's not done, it will still there are still few things left. Click on next, because we need to import the now certificate. If you remember, right, like we have just enabled that in Salesforce, so we need to now import the Salesforce certificate here, right, in the PingFederate section. So this is done. Just I'm clicking next and then okay, now go to next. So in the credential section, like if you just click on save now, you can see it will ask for the signature verification setting. Like if I click on save, it is again not lying. Why it's saying signature verification settings not configured. So you need to go to configure credentials and you need to manage signature verification setting, and you have two options here. Basically you are just importing the Salesforce certificate here, but before that you just need to read these options. So you have the first, you selected the configure signature verification, then it asks for the anchored or unanchored. Unanchored means the verification certificate is self-signed or you wish to trust a specific certificate. So PingFed is allowing both, whether it's a self-signed certificate, whether it's a trusted CA certificate, anything. And anchored means the verification certificate must be signed by a trusted CA. So for example, if I just enable this and if I import this certificate, this is not going to, this is basically going to fail, because this certificate is signed by not any trusted certificate authority. It basically is signed by Salesforce itself, and Salesforce is not a certificate authority, right? So therefore, like we can select unanchored. That means whether it's self-signed or signed, whatever, it not matters to us. PingFederate, it not matter to PingFederate. So just select unanchored and go to next. And now you need to just import the certificate. So for that, let's click on manage certificate, and you have to get the option to import. Just go to choose file and then go to downloads, and we have the Salesforce signing certificate here. Yeah, just click on open. Now go to next and then just save it. Okay, so you can see now we have the Salesforce certificate. You can see subject DN, serial number, expires, signature verification. It says not saved. Okay, we haven't saved yet. And then you have see a few actions here, like deactivate. If you just deactivate, this tick option will be removed here, right? It's saying tick, that means it is activated right now. And you can have multiple signature verification certificate you can import here, and you can just work like accordingly. Like maybe in few applications you can see they worked as a failover option. So you have two certificates. So if the certificate one expired or it's something happened with that, then it will quickly fail over to the secondary certificate, and it can work like that. So yeah. Now click on done, and we need to go to next and save it. Once you save, this is done. Now you can just, I think it's replicated also. Now if you can go to Salesforce, you can able to see that you have your SAML profile is enabled. Yeah. And then you have the under protocol setting, you have the SLO service URL defined, and then you added the certificate also here. Like if you can see, if I can just click here, you can able to see. One second. What happened? One second. I just want to show you in a proper way. Okay, yeah, so it's basically status valid saved, and yeah, we have this enabled as active. So this is done from PingFederate. Now it's a time to test. We did 3 things at PingFederate and 2 things at Salesforce also, enabling the SLO and defining the address. Now let's test this. Let's copy the SP initial test as a URL and let's try to test the logout. Go to in Chrome browser incognito window, enable the SAML tracer sorry, and then click on head this. Now you have the username password, just give like maybe we can Abhishek Arts, will give that Abhishek Arts 211@identity.com and put the same password. Okay, so we are now into the Salesforce. Okay, we came to the Salesforce now. Now what we need to do, like let's test the logout. Okay, so SAML request and response came. Okay, this is fine. We have the default configuration whatever we have in the previous test. It's sending those values. Now let's click on logout here. You have the logout option. Logout, click logout and let's see what happened. Okay, so you landed to the SAML to logout. This is the address of the Salesforce site. Now let's go and check the tracer, what happened there, to understand it more. So you can see the first, there will be a logout request. So this is nothing but a logout request. You can see SAML 2P logout request sent from Salesforce end to PingFederate, and they are sending to which place? That's a SLO place. So you can see destination as our address idp.slo.saml2 with the base URL. This is our address of the SLO, where basically Salesforce has sent a logout request to us. And then what we are, and you can see the user information it's in within the name ID in that request. Now what PingFed has to do, PingFed has to just understand the request and just send a logout response. So now let's see the post one, this one, and this is nothing but a SAML response or logout response, you can say. Yeah, SAML P logout response, you can say. So this logout response, who is sending? PingFed is sending. So you can see issuer is PingFederate, and it's sent to where? To the address of the logout address of the Salesforce. So you can see this is a logout address, right, that we have configured. So it basically sends a response to that address, and you can see here like it's just talk about like success. Yeah, so this is success done, like status code success. That means the logout is happened successfully. User is successfully logged out. So this is the way like you can just configure. So a few things you need to just configure at Salesforce and at PingFed, what we did, and then your logout will work in this way. So you need to take the certificate from the application, their logout endpoints, and yeah, that's all. And you can just configure at PingFederate with the defining the SAML profile, certificate part, and the endpoint, logout endpoint defining. And at Salesforce also they need to define your logout endpoint. So it's basically exchange of the information again, like what we did in the building of the connection, same thing we are doing. But yeah, you understand, like that's a authentication and it's a logout. So I hope you understand. If you have still confusion anything, please put in the comment section, we can discuss again. And let's meet on the next section. We can quickly jump to the next test case. Thank you.